Good Monday morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It is 6:30 in the morning and we are out here to harvest. Don't normally come out this early, but I have to go get some tests run today for some concerning health issues I've been having, and that's this morning. So I need to get all the harvesting done so that I can get the CSA bouquets made when we get back. So we're out here, it's gorgeous, it's 55 degrees Fahrenheit, perfect weather for harvesting. Got my buckets, we've got a field of flowers, so I'm gonna get started. Okay, so that took about an hour and a half. Not bad. I could have cut more. I didn't cut any of these marigolds. This is the best thing on the farm at this point. It's nice that we're finally getting zinnias. And I dropped the ball on sunflowers. I stopped sowing. I had all kinds of, all those migraine days got me really far behind. So instead of doing what I would normally do with sunflowers, cutting it off at the soil level, stripping it and moving on, I'm cutting them since they're tall halfway up and they're branching for me. That is giving me additional blooms. So not all varieties will do that. The Pro Cut is supposed to be single cut, but they will branch if you do that. But the ones I've been cutting on and that I planted first were all of Sunflower Steve's Van Gogh Fantasy Mix and Marley Mix. And those are great because they give you beautiful heads and then they'll branch for you if you don't take them down to the ground. So that is saving me right now for sunflowers. Went down and cut some Didiscus, which I'll show you in the buckets in a minute. I planted almost a whole row of that here in these beds, and they didn't grow, like, they grew one barely leafed out stem with a tiny flower on top. The ones down in the beds by the mums where we had much better soil, those are doing great. And so even though it's a small patch, it's plenty. I'll show you what those look like in a minute. So I'm gonna leave these marigolds here, but I do need to come through tomorrow when I have more time, fertilize everything again. And because if I fertilize the Lisianthus once a week, heavily fertilize, they will give me another flush, which is good because last year I had tons and tons. This year, it's very slim. Part of it, I think, is the weird weather we've had, but also this soil is still really awful. It's still very hard. So when it comes time to flip the beds at the end, well, at the beginning of October, I'm going to fork all the beds again and add a ton more gypsum and then another layer of fresh, high quality compost and hope that the rains will help that all filter through and start to really break up this soil. Where I have grown sunflowers, the soil will be better because sunflowers are really good at breaking up compacted soil. And probably the marigolds too, they have pretty good root systems. But in other places like the feverfew, where I'd like to leave it till next year because it is a perennial for me here, it is very sparse. I don't know how well it's going to do. I'm going to fork around it to try to open up a bunch of channels for air and water. So yeah, that's the status right now. Not nearly as many flowers as I normally have on the farm this time of year. Usually all the beds are packed full, but it is what it is. And I have enough, more than enough, for the CSA and all the custom bouquets that I've been getting. And we'll see about wedding time. I have a big wedding at the end of September. I think all the mums should be blooming by then. And of course, we'll still have marigolds and zinnias and stuff like that. I will have to get a few things at the flower mart because it's a big wedding for me. But I think we'll have lots and lots of focal flowers. And we'll probably have another flush of Lisianthus at that point, which would be great. So, all right. I need to, well, I'll show you what's in the buckets first, but then I need to get home, eat, shower, and head to the doctor. I'm gonna go get some heart tests done today. I have had, and then they're gonna do an MRI on my brain in a couple of weeks. It hasn't been scheduled yet. I've had 3 pretty scary incidences of severe vertigo, fainting. And so it's pretty awful. Then the last time it happened, I was awake. I didn't completely pass out. And I looked at my watch to look at my heart rate, and it was 54 during that episode. And when we got home and I tested my blood pressure, it was also, see, I already have low blood pressure, but it was really low, lower than it should be. And with this kind of constant migraine that I've had for almost 2 months now. Some days, like today, it's pretty mild and I just function. Other days it's bad and I have to go to bed. So yeah, they want to run some tests, make sure there's nothing wrong with my heart, and then check my brain. They're pretty sure it's not like a tumor or anything like that, but we got to start ruling some things out. I could just be one of those unlucky people that hormonal changes make my life hell. And if that's the case, then we will learn to adapt. All right, guys, let me show you what's in these buckets because then I got to get going. These are so pretty. They're making me so happy. So this bucket is full of multicolored zinnias. I think, well, I know these were Floret originals. So it might be a combo of like Dawn Creek pastels and maybe Victorian Wedding. I'm not sure. Then we have a couple of snapdragons. I didn't get really any snapdragons this year. It's a real bummer because that's usually a nice big crop for me. And then this is Corelli Pink Lisianthus in here. And then here we've got all of our sunflower varieties plus chocolate lace flower. So I've got CSA bouquets to make today as well as a custom order bouquet. See, some of these sunflowers are gonna be too old to use. I can already tell looking at that. So they may just go in a vase for me, but I wanna cut everything so that they will keep branching and giving me more flowers. And then in this vase, we have in this bucket, we've got these are actually Celebrity Yellow, but they look white. This is Lisianthus, and then we've got a bunch of Status, finally, a few more zinnias, and then the blue back here is the Didiscus. It kind of looks like Scabiosa, but it is a different species, and I'm leaving all those unripened buds on here because they add interest to bouquets. And then we have a couple, like 3 dahlias. Those are just for the probably for me, but I needed to do some deadheading. And speaking of dahlias, the dahlia patch this year is a complete fail. I have not yet figured out why or what's going on, but I think they all got eaten at the surface level. Because the tubers are still there, the soil is soft, that feels good. There's been enough water. There are no plants. There were plants when I planted them, so I think they've gotten eaten, which is a real bummer because that's no dahlias this year. The ones that I cut were from the singles, the Floret Originals Shooting Star, I think. They were from seed. And those keep producing. I mostly leave those for the bees. But yeah, so no dahlias this year. So yeah, this it's been a challenging year. I know I have buckets of flowers, but I can't do wholesale this year for the reason that they left, and also I don't have enough. So yeah, it's been a year of loss, and that's kind of tough, but that is farming. All right, I'm going to load this up, and I will catch back up with you guys later today after all my tests and stuff. We have a couple of different work crews coming out to the house for various things, so it's going to be a very busy day. But we will hook back up when we start making bouquets. Oh my goodness, what a busy day. We had two different work crews out for various things, and it is almost 6 p.m. I'm only just now getting the bouquets done. So, the CSA bouquets look very pretty. They are definitely market bouquets. These are combinations of colors I normally wouldn't put together. Not that they're bad, but like I tend to like more like same tone or same color family together. Not monochromatic, but not things completely opposite on the color wheel. But market bouquets are more like that. They're more like loud and lots of bright colors and stuff. So that is what the CSA bouquets are, and that's good because it used up most of my flowers. I did make a custom one that I'm going to go deliver now, and then two more bouquets just for the house because otherwise there was nowhere else to put them. We had so many flowers. So let me show you these really quick. And I feel bad about closing the garage door on these because there's bees having fun in the flowers. So hopefully you can see how nice and bright. It's really the marigolds that are just such a strong pop of color. There's our little bee friend. The pollen baskets are packed full. Look at her. She's just picking up all that pollen. So we've got some sunflowers. Basically, it's zinnias sunflowers, lisianthus, daucus, marigolds, and status. And they're really pretty, and I think everybody will like them. What you might notice is there's no greenery. I don't always do that, but we had so many flowers. They were they're big, thick bouquets. There was no point in going to harvest greenery off the property. I just didn't need to do that. Same thing for this custom bouquet. It's probably going to be hard to see in here because it is dark. Well, it's getting dark. But this bouquet is just loaded with flowers. It is a thank you bouquet, and I just think it's really pretty. We got snapdragons and all the other stuff that we already talked about, so I think she'll really enjoy that. And then this one back here is just leftovers that's going in the house. Okay, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I need to go make this delivery and then get home so I can start dinner. Doctor appointment went well. The EKG was normal. Still, she wants to get an MRI based on all the stuff that's been happening, but we're hoping that it is just a exaggerated case of benign positional something or else vertigo, BPPV, which I've had my whole life. That's just kind of gotten haywire, but we'll see. Let's hope that the MRI comes out normal. I haven't scheduled that yet. I will do that tomorrow. But for now, this is all we can do. My blood work looks great. So, it's great to hear those things. But then when you still have all these symptoms, it's really challenging because you're thinking, well, but there's still definitely something wrong. So let's try to figure it out. Thankfully, my doctor, I trust her. I've been with her for many years. She's wonderful. She always listens to me. She takes me seriously, and she goes above and beyond to help me find solutions. So I'm in good hands there. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out on this day filled with flowers. Tomorrow, we are going to take apart the greenhouse and clean it all out. Not take it apart, but basically empty it out and clean it all out. That's going to be a big job. And I want to get started early because it's going to be not hot, but hot enough. And it's probably going to take me about 5 hours to get that whole project done. All right. Thanks again for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.